Are you ready to rock the mornings with your air fryer? I got you. Today I've got 10 different ways you can whip up breakfast right in your air fryer. My name is Kathy and I'm here to help you actually use your air fryer. These air fryer breakfast ideas will hopefully help mornings go just a little smoother. Are you ready? Let's go. This air fryer breakfast bake is so fast and easy, and I can easily feed 3 to 4 of my kids with this one batch. Preheat your air fryer for about 5 minutes at 400 degrees, and then pop in 5 to 6 of your favorite chicken nuggets and 10 or so tater tots. And this is what I'm using today. Spread those out in an even layer and then cook them for 6 minutes at 400 degrees. And I'm saving time and just pushing my steak button. Then you'll need 4 eggs and about a 1/4 cup of milk. I always love to dump those right into a 2-cup measuring cup. Just whisk those together and then set that aside. When the nuggets and tater tots are done, I drop them onto a cutting board and then just chop them up into bite-sized pieces. And then get any air fryer safe dish. Today I'm using a 7-inch cake barrel. Drop those into the pan and then pour in your little egg mixture right over the top. Carefully set it in your air fryer and then set your air fryer to 350 for 7 minutes. It's looking so good. Carefully stir everything up. That's gonna help scramble up the eggs, and then cook it for another 5 minutes at 350 degrees. And check it out, it's looking so good. I'm just gonna take a peek and make sure it's cooked all the way through. Oh yes, it is. Now, cheese. Sprinkle some cheese on top. I personally like a lot of cheese. Pop it back into the air fryer for 1 to 2 minutes. That's gonna melt your cheese. And this one is so flippin' good, y'all. Doing sausage and bacon in the air fryer is so hands-off. It frees up your stove for all your other breakfast things, and cleanup is a breeze. I'm gonna show you how to do both of these. And in the beginning, I would cut my bacon down and I didn't want them touching, but I found, obviously bacon shrinks, so I just kinda shimmy it in there. And I'm gonna put some sausage in here. One common problem with bacon and greasy foods in the air fryer is that it smokes crazy. There's 2 different things you can do. You can put water at the bottom of the pan, or I usually grab the end of a bread loaf and stick it underneath the basket to absorb the grease. And then, like I said, there's that preset button, 320 for 8 minutes. And then we can add on from there if we need to. So now, depending on how thick your bacon is, it might be done, or you can just give it some more time. You can crank up the heat for more crispiness. I'm just gonna shuffle these guys around. And now I'm gonna crank it up to 370 for 5 more minutes. And that, my friends, is how you do bacon and sausage in the air fryer. I'm just gonna let this cool down and wipe it out with a paper towel.
Was this made in the air fryer?
Yes, ma'am.
That's why it's yummy.
These are yummy eggs in a hole or eggs in a basket. I don't remember what we called them, but it was the very first recipe I learned to cook when I was in 4-H forever ago. My little munchkin here represents all of my children. They all love it. Start with 2 pieces of nice moist bread. If you just use the cheap white bread from the store, it's gonna dry out and taste like cardboard. And lightly spray both sides with some oil or butter. Then you could use a cup or a cookie cutter and just cut a hole from the center of the bread. You know this recipe, right? Then lay them down in your air fryer right on top of parchment paper. Then crack an egg and drop it right into that cute little hole. And don't worry, the parchment paper does a pretty good job of keeping the egg from leaking out. Then quickly top it with some salt and pepper, and today I'm gonna throw on some fresh thyme. Oh my goodness, it makes it so wonderful. Then pop it in the air fryer at 330 degrees for 6 to 7 minutes. I found closer to 7 minutes makes it easier to flip them. And just pull it out at that point in time. You can kind of hold the parchment paper down and use the spatula to flip those around. Most often I can do this without any casualties. There we go, let's finish cooking. At this point, if you want them runny, just cook it for about 2 more minutes. If you like them a little bit more cooked through, go up to 4 or 5 minutes more. All right, check it out. These look good. These eggs in a hole were one of my favorites as a child, and I love them today. Homemade bagels in the air fryer? You know it. Start with just a cup of all-purpose flour and then add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, not baking soda, baking powder, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Whisk that together and then you'll need just about a cup of plain Greek yogurt. I just eyeballed it because I just had these single-serve yogurt cups on hand and they're just over 5 ounces each. Then mix it all up until the flour is well incorporated. You can see my dough is a little bit dry, so I ended up adding just a little bit more yogurt because I want it to get to that nice moist consistency that's still easy to work with. The dough should be a little bit tacky. Not you, you're not tacky. The dough. This dough is very similar to the dough that I use in my super easy homemade donuts. I will link to that recipe down below in the notes. Then divide the dough into 4 equal parts. I love to use my silicone mat here and some flour. It just gives me a cleaner, easier work surface. And then you just need to shape your dough into that of a bagel. You can do that by making a rope from the dough and then attaching the ends together, or you can have a ball of dough and just put a finger in there and wiggle it around until you have a little opening. It doesn't have to be perfect here, just make sure they're somewhat even sized. Now, a few of you have recommended these silicone air fryer liners instead of air fryer parchment paper, so I decided to get some and I'm gonna test them out today with these bagels. Then whisk together 1 egg white, and this is going to be your egg wash. Pop your bagels in the air fryer and coat the tops of each bagel with the egg wash, and then I'm gonna pull out my everything but the bagel seasoning blend, and I just love to sprinkle it right on top of the bagels. Close that up, and I'm gonna start with 10 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. By the way, I always list the conversions of temperatures down in the video description as well. And at 5 minutes in, I took a peek and decided to flip just 2 of them because I wasn't sure how this liner was gonna affect the cooking on the bottom. So this way I can test it out. And it looks like I should have sprayed that silicone mat because these are sticking a little bit. Now I know for next time, right? Pop them back in and hello, I've got a lot of flour on my air fryer here. And here they are after 10 minutes. They are baked perfectly inside, but if you want them to be a little bit more golden, pop them in for 2 more minutes at 350, and here are mine. These are so yummy and best enjoyed on the same day. Start with 1 egg, 1 cup of almond flour, 1 cup of shredded cheese, your choice, a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan, a tablespoon of melted butter, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and then you can see I'm pulling on my gloves, and we are gonna drop in a pound of ground sausage, and you're just gonna mix all of that up with your hands. Next, it's always great to use a liner for this recipe and a cookie scoop that's about 2 tablespoons, and just fill your basket with some sausage balls. This makes about 25 total, so I did have to work in batches. Air fry at 350 for 10 minutes, and boom, it is done. These are great for breakfast or even dinner. And look at the easy cleanup. Love it. Next up, breakfast egg bakes are kind of like a customized omelet all bundled up in a cute little bowl. Start with some ramekins that are 6 to 8 ounces in size, or any oven-safe dish that fits in your air fryer will work for this. You want to spray your ramekins with some oil, and then I just crack an egg in, pour a little milk. Today I have half and half, salt and pepper, and then this is the fun part, is you can totally customize. So we had some potatoes left over from the night before. Here's some of that yummy bacon. I love to add chopped spinach in mine and just give it a quick little mix, and then you just pop it in at 350 for 15 minutes. And then I just peek on it twice throughout the cooking time and give it a little mix up, and there you go. It's just a breakfast egg bake. These frozen hash browns are amazing. We go 405 minutes, which is also my preheat setting, so I'm just gonna push that button. I'm gonna flip them and pop them back in for 3 more minutes. There we go, that crisped those up. Oh, these are so good. French toast sticks are awesome in the air fryer. We actually love these for a fun Saturday morning breakfast. Oh, these are so good. So for best results, I do recommend this nice thick Texas toast, and cut each slice into thirds. You'll be using about 12 slices of bread for this, so you will be working in batches, of course. And what you'll want to do is dry them out a little bit first. So place them in a single layer in the air fryer and then turn it on to 350 for 2 minutes. While those those are drying out, you're gonna make your mixture, which is gonna be 1.5 cups of whole milk or half and half. Even regular milk will work okay. And then add half of a stick of butter. That's 4 tablespoons there. And you're gonna warm this up in the microwave for about 1 to 2 minutes until the butter is melted and the milk is nice and warm, but not too hot. I'm gonna add it to a larger measuring cup because I'm gonna be doing some blending here. Go ahead and add 3 egg yolks to your mixture. And since the milk is warm, I like to blend it up right away with my immersion blender, or you can use a fork or a whisk. Next, add in a tablespoon of vanilla, and then a half teaspoon of cinnamon, and 3 to 4 tablespoons of brown sugar. Go ahead and give that a good mix. Then go ahead and pour that into a shallow glass dish. And now it's time to pull out the breadsticks. You can see they're just dried out enough. This is gonna help it so they don't get soggy. Go ahead and dump each little breadstick into your batter, flip them around, and place them right in the air fryer. If you want to, you could also sprinkle on more cinnamon and sugar for an extra little crunch to those French toast sticks. Then go ahead and cook it at 350 degrees for about 8 minutes. Be sure to flip it there at the halfway mark. It's a little hot, but I did use my hands. And if you decide you want them more crispy, throw it in for another minute or 2. It's totally up to you. Then top it with syrup, powdered sugar, whatever you want. For this crustless quiche, you will start out with some sausage. Now you can use turkey sausage. I just had some sausage links. I removed the casing and cut them up into cute little pieces. And then of course, go wash your hands. I'm gonna start at 350 for just 3 minutes so I can give it a stir and check on it. And while that's cooking, I got about 3 ounces of spinach. You can see it's a good hefty bowl of spinach. I covered it and popped it in the microwave with about a tablespoon of water for a couple minutes. Here's the sausage. Obviously not done yet, but I'm just breaking up some of those larger pieces. And then now I'm gonna crank it up to 370 and cook it for 6 more minutes. Now here's the reminder after 3 minutes, and I popped it open, and you know what? It looked done enough to me. I went ahead and got my cute little pizza pan ready. I am giving that a light coating of spray. And then the beauty of cooking the sausage right in the air fryer is that a lot of the grease will just drain. I poured my sausage in my pan, and then I decided it was a little too much grease for me, so I grabbed some paper towels to absorb some more of the grease out of the sausage. Then check out my steamed spinach. I did drain some of the moisture out of that spinach, and then I just laid it right over the top of my sausage. Then I threw on a handful of some cheddar cheese and Parmesan cheese. Then I mixed up 3 eggs with about a 1/3 cup of milk. I threw in a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt and then just a dash of pepper. Oh, and I forgot the fun secret ingredient, just a dash of nutmeg. So I whisked that up and then just pour it right over the top of my sausage, spinach, and cheese. Then I pushed everything down in just to make sure everything's covered with the egg mixture. And then I'm just plopping that right into my pan. It's not preheated. I'm gonna bake it at 350 for 12 minutes, and it came out perfect. You can tell it's done when you pop a little toothpick in the middle there and it comes out clean, which it did. And boom, super yummy. Hard-boiled eggs without the boil? Let's do it. Preheat your air fryer. 270, 5 minutes. 270, 15 minutes. Prepare the ice bath. Get the tongs. Drop in the ice bath. 5-minute soak. Eggs are done bathing. Crack, peel. Want to do more with your air fryer? I've got a bunch of ideas for you right here. I think you're gonna like this one as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.